We are live on YouTube now.
Right. All right, we've got 5 people there ready to join. Hi, everyone who's on YouTube. Welcome to our meeting. Sorry for the delayed start for you. Yeah. I'll just mute YouTube. We've just had, Brett has just kicked off the meeting, welcoming everybody to the session. And before we start, we've put ourselves in a bandhan, raised our kundalini, if you'd like to do so, and we'll take Mother's 3 mantras to start the meeting. We've got chat open on YouTube, so if there's anything you'd like to ask during the meeting, please just put something in the chat channel. Okay, so we'll take Mother's 3 mantras. Om Meva Sakshat Shri Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Trigunatmika Kundalini Sakshat Shri Adishakti Mataji Shri Devi Namo Namaha Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalaki Shri Adishakti Mataji Devi Namo Namaha Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Sahasrara Swamini Moksha Pradayini Mataji Shri Nimla Devi Namo Namaha.
Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi ji ki.
Shri Mataji,
Jai.
thank you for giving us the opportunity to meet. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to just share your work with all the seekers of the world. And thank you for giving us a lovely group of Sahaja yogis who are just contributing as much as they can to do your work. And may you keep us protected while we do more of your work in the coming year and beyond. Jai Shri Mataji. Okay, so let's start. So we've got just 2 slides just to kick off the meeting. Matt, could you get a slide, the next one, please? The one after this one. Next one. That's it, good. So, so this meeting came about, it was something that we felt we wanted to do for a while. But in reality, it's probably, it's not really that much, it's not probably that necessary, because when we reflect about what's happened in the last 12 months, we have done so much work has been done. So many people, so many yogis have gotten involved in Australia and around the world, not only just in Australia, but around the world, to mobilize, to use the tools that Shri Mataji has given us to spread her work, to use the internet. And in all honesty, this is the first formal meeting we've had in 12 months, and we've been going superbly for the past 12 months. So my concern is we don't break anything by having a meeting, a formal meeting. It seems to be working quite well. All the deities and the angels have just been looking after us so well. But I thought it'd be nice to have a chat with everybody, especially those people who've been in the background working on researching and presenting the programs, because it looks like it is a model that we're going to continue with into 2021. And from talking with a lot of people, we all feel that this is the mode that we're going to be in, I suppose, from now on. And maybe the whole pandemic issue was just a catalyst to kickstart us into this new environment that we're in. So we'll talk a little bit about what's been happening over the past 12 months. We've got a lot of people who've been at the coalface presenting classes on Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook. So we'll have an opportunity to hear from everybody, their experiences and what we've learnt. We'll talk a little bit about how we schedule, produce and promote the programs every week. And then we'll talk a little bit about our content delivery platforms, what we use to deliver the programs. One of the topics that Mayank brought up is how do we nurture these people that we are in contact with on a weekly basis? How do we encourage them to go to the next step? And Lynn, I know, spoke with her sometime last year. She talked about this tremendous work that the Indian Collective have been doing to nurture their people. We've got some stats that we'd like to share with you if you're interested. Training, how can we get more people involved in this project if they like to participate? There's so many different levels that people can participate in, and Sean has greatly has agreed to provide training for people who'd like to do it. And then we'd like to finish off what are we going to do as a team to honour 40 years of Sahaj Yoga in Australia from the online perspective. So I suppose from the beginning we should mention that the scope of this meeting is about public programs. It's not about programs that we do on a weekly basis for the collective, even though a lot of it cuts across that area. So we want to mainly just focus on the public programs, and certainly the work that we're doing with the weekly collective programs online and the pujas and so forth. Well, they benefit from all the work that we've been doing, because certainly the work that we've done with the public programs have greatly helped with the some of the pujas that we held on that were held online during 2020. It's an informal meeting, so that's really the area that we want to follow. On the next slide, Mank, if you wouldn't mind just going to the next slide, which is slide 4. They're basically the detail, that's some of the areas that we wanted to cover, which is basically the depth and the detail of today's discussions. And we felt that depending on who the audience and who are the people that join the sessions, we'll tailor the meeting around the group. We're going to, as much as possible, avoid making it a technical meeting, even though the technology is the vehicle is the backbone for what we do. And it happens transparently for 90% of us that are participating in these projects. But we might take the opportunity to just talk a little bit about the technology, so you could see the huge platforms that are available to us that Mother has created for us to utilise. And as each week goes by, we think of other ways of exploring those platforms and how we could better utilise them. All right, so we'll open the meeting. We've got 8 people on YouTube. The guests on YouTube, if you want to participate, please use the chat in your YouTube channel if you want to ask any questions. So let's, if everybody's happy to kick off the meeting with just going around the group, asking people just to share their experiences of the last 12 months who've been presenting programs. So I'll hand over to you.
Yes, on YouTube, if you want to participate, please use the chat in your YouTube channel if you want to ask any questions. So let's, if everybody's happy to kick off the meeting with just going around the group, asking people just to share their experiences of the last 12 months who've been presenting programs. So I'll hand over to you. Yes, on YouTube, if you want to participate, please use the chat in your YouTube channel if you want to ask any questions.
Suzanne, your microphone's open. It's playing back the presentation. If you could mute it.
Share their experiences the last 12 months.
Thank you. Great. So, Sean, let's start with you.
Okay, great. So I thought that this has been a very wonderful experience in terms of still being able to do programs, even in times like this. What I thought was really cool was learning to use the technology and the streaming platforms to you stop thinking about like physical logistics and you start thinking about like background streaming and all the kind of stuff that goes behind it. And you start thinking to yourself that, you know, you stop thinking about just within the demographic of wherever you are, but you start thinking of the world. You start thinking of time zones more than anything else. So it's quite exciting to see the change of it and whatnot. I think what would be really nice to learn from other people is as to how they've gone about in, I guess, since the classes are now not, we regularly go for classes. How do they keep maintaining the same amount of people that are regular seekers coming in on a regular basis and things like that? That will be something that I would like to learn a lot more. And also just the methods of spreading the word through the online medium, because it's very interesting to when you see something in real life, it's different to when you see something online. So I guess there might be a disconnect or something that we need to sort of make that bridge happen. I would like to learn a lot more just through how everybody has gone through with their experience, and open to some thoughts and expressions. I guess that's from me. You're on mute, Uncle.
Right, so we've got Shan and Lynn who've been presenting. Kirti, you've been presenting. Vaibhav and Sid and Mayank. So Mayank has been focusing on the YouTube channel, which we might come back to that. But the rest of and Andre have been focusing on the YouTube channel, and the other folks have been doing the Zoom sessions. So maybe someone from that group could share their experiences. Interaction with the yogis. I suppose, let me ask some questions. One of the things we hear is that as Zoom presenters, you're actually able to see, and YouTube, you're able to see how many people are online at the time when you're presenting. And we all know that we go to a lot of work to research and prepare our presentations. And it's like when we used to do our public programs, you'd turn up and, maybe one or two people will turn up, or one will turn up. And on Zoom, you'll probably see, you might start with two, and as you're talking, you'll see them dropping off, you end up with a smaller number. How do you feel about that? Do you find that discouraging, or you feel that that's fine because we're still spreading Sahaja Yoga and we're using the internet to spread the vibrations?
Actually, it goes the other way as well, Charles.
Good.
That people join late as well. So you may start with 3.
Yes,
by the end of the program, you've actually got 8 or more. So some weeks you have a lot, some weeks you'll have 2. As long as you get 1, you're happy.
Good. And if you have 0, you still continue with the program? You still play it. If you've allocated half an hour or 3/4 of an hour for the session, you'll keep going?
We actually had 0.
Good. Okay.
So we've always had somebody, which everyone might be interested to hear. We've the Monday night one. We've also got Himanshu does one on Wednesday night, but Monday night we started off, of course, in my lounge room, and now we've gone to an office space, and we also have live people. So in order to start having our live programs, we've got the Zoom audience there as well as participants. So for instance, this Monday just passed, we had 2 online and 2 in real people, and we make them part of the audience. So we have the camera set up in amongst the chairs. So and then we introduce the people online to the people in the room as well. So we're having a conversation with the audience, the live audience, as well as the Zoom audience. So that's also an interesting progression now that people are able to meet. And yet there are people who find it easier just to go online. So we don't want to lose that possibility as well.
Good.
So that was all I had to say about that. If anyone has any questions.
Mayank, if you can hear me, the YouTube people can only see the PowerPoint. Or for everybody, can we share the faces, the Zoom screen?
Okay.
Please, thank you.
Yeah.
Great. All right, Vaibhav, everybody's shy tonight.
Thank you, Auntie Lynn, for the update. I would love to know the technological or the technical setup and how you're doing it with that collaborative approach.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, obviously outside the meeting, maybe in a different forum. I would just like to share my screen, and also made a small presentation which I would like to go through quickly, if that's okay, Uncle.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Very well prepared.
Mangji, can you please give me a co-host rights or something, please? Can't share my screen.
Done.
Okay, thank you. All right, should be able to see my screen any minute. So first of all, would like to thank Shri Mataji for doing everything. And as the technical people, we can get a bit right-sided sometimes. So we have to always remember that Shri Mataji does everything, we do nothing. So that's what I would like to start with. And I'd actually like to take you through a journey where we first started the collective online meditations in the Queensland in November 2019, just before the COVID outbreak. And that helped us to grow collectively and individually as well. And that basically brought us to a level where we could probably confidently speak in front of a crowd, whether it be behind a computer screen. And it also increased the comfort level of many uncles and aunties for that technology as well. So these are still continuing, and I feel that they pave the path for the other wonderful public programs that happen. And also would like to say that before I continue, there's a bunch of people who are probably not here today, but have helped both from Australia and internationally for all these programs that I'm going to discuss. The first Zoom program that was a bit of a historic moment, I guess, for Australia, held on 25th March from Queensland. There's Uncle Peter and Auntie Pam doing the program. It was always a memorable moment for myself. So from that journey, what came to us was, if we are doing a Zoom program once a week, what's happening for the rest of the week? The seekers are probably doing or not doing the meditations by themselves, which most of us know that unless they are really deep, they may not start doing it themselves. So what we did was, Monica came up with an idea actually to have a Facebook group where we can have meditations every alternate day, short live guided meditations to keep the vibrations up and to have a short dose of meditation for the seekers so they can get into that habit of meditation. And that these sessions will be they are always recorded on the Facebook group, actual group, and people can always watch them later on according to their time zone, etc. And as Sean said before, this being an international sort of frontier without any physical boundaries, we have ended up with a lot of international seekers and yogis as well in here, which is a pleasure to watch as we benefit from each other's meditation and go deeper into Sahaj. And once the seeker has attended maybe even a few sessions and then they come back the next week, they are not in as bad state as they would normally be if they wouldn't have done any meditation during the week. And when they come back after 2 sessions, what we do in Zoom, we move them to a breakout room where we have a more advanced session. And that's where we assign them to a mentor as well after the session. and that they can be in touch with that mentor, and not just during that Sunday or these programs, anytime basically during the week. And if they have any questions, they can ask, they can be a bit more personal and open up. And that's how slowly, they can be taken into the ashram, and they can attend the collective programs and eventually the pujas. So that has been our model here so far. We have got 1 or 2 seekers who have made it to the puja like that, which is amazing to watch, and hopefully more will join. So more about Journey Within Saj Yoga, which is the Facebook platform for new people. That's the name we have given it. Doesn't matter with the name. It's basically a Facebook group for seekers. And these are some of the posters that we have done in the past. These have helped with the advertising and other things. And I'll come back to the whole process of change that happens. But basically, yeah, that's definitely quite useful. We've also done a few international collaborations with Mother's Grace. We got an opportunity to do the Africa program. And that went for about 2 to 3 months. And a number of people got the realization. I don't have a count, unfortunately, but there would be definitely more than 100, 150 people that we would have got the realization through that course. Uncle Edwin from Townsville and Rajesh from Germany helped us with that program, with other technical support from Kirti, Sridhar, and others as well. So thank you all for your efforts. That was really good. So what has happened there is, after that 3 months of realization programs and advanced sessions, we have handed the seekers over to the African Collective, where a few yogis are looking after them and guiding them to the respective ashrams, etc. We also had a China program, which was done from India by Uncle Sanjay, and with his beautiful team and music and the Lakshmi movie. And there's more coming, which is from Russia and Japan in the future, so stay tuned for that. Now, Uncle Charles asked me to speak about this, so I'm going to talk about this process.
Vaibhav, before we
yes.
start on that process, can I just ask you a few questions about the sessions that you've been running with Zoom, for example? You had the model where you had a technical team basically operating Zoom, and you had Uncle Edwin, for example, who was just focusing on presenting, and he didn't have to learn the technology. So could you talk a little bit about that? And also what's been happening with your beautiful Facebook programs that you create, how they have a life afterwards. It's not just a once-off event where they're broadcasted, and what we do with them via the YouTube, etc. Yeah.
All right, sure. So for that, actually, I don't need the slides for that particular thing. But what we do with I'll answer the first question first, Uncle. So with the Zoom programs, we have a team of yogis, and we normally have at least 4 yogis present in every program. The model is we have 2 sessions in the same on the same link in the same meeting. One is the main session, the other is the breakout room, and we have at least 2 yogis in each room. And one of the yogis focuses on delivering the session, that is the self-realization, meditation, and everything, and answering the questions. And the other yogi provides the technical help or the technical assistant. So, and we keep swapping roles and changing roles to keep things interesting. Otherwise, the technical guy will get just bored. But that model really helps take away the burden of the person presenting the program to do anything with the technology. And all they need to do is just log into the Zoom meeting, have their camera and microphone ready with a decent background and lighting, and that's pretty much it. And after that, we'll just share a PowerPoint slide as they continue through the realization process and to the advanced process. So this has enabled us to tap into the experience and wisdom of some of the elder yogis who are not very good with technology, but are willing to do the public programs over the internet. We have a bunch of examples, I mean, at least 5 to 6 Sahaj yogis I can think that way. And slowly over the time, they have gotten more comfortable with the technology. And now they are capable of doing the programs all by themselves as well, which is Shri Mataji great. So does that answer your first question, Nikhil?
Yes, that's good, because I only heard over the past few days from talking with Florin in WA that Kanan is doing the same thing. He's sitting in Sydney, and he's been supporting the WA team in this, basically the same model. Is that right, Kanan?
Yes, yes. That's right. I've been helping out in the background, so it's like much easier to, you know.
It allows the team, the presenters, just to focus on presenting. Yes. Yeah, good. Yes. Okay. Which is similar to what we used to do with the public programs, because imagine in a public program, you never had someone, you know, the big programs with a lot of technology, you know, where Mother was, for example, at a town hall, the presenter only focused on what they were going to present, and they contributed to the video that was going to be played. But we had a separate team of people who'd set up the PA, set up the video projectors, all those sort of things in the background, and just let the presenter just focus on what they had to do. And, you know, it looks like, you know, that same model has translated into the internet model. All right, so maybe Vaibhav, maybe talk a little bit about what happens with all those beautiful videos that you've been creating, and this sort of this will dovetail in with the work that Mayank has been doing and Andre have been doing with creating and packaging videos.
Sure. So with these Facebook meditations, which are, I would say 90% happen live, once they're broadcasted, then we basically edit them and make them visually and audio visually nice looking, put some intros and outros in the front and post, and basically then they're uploaded to YouTube. From there, we have some wonderful tools, which OneStream, etc., which I'm sure, Uncle, you would love to talk about a bit more, which are used to broadcast over a bunch of platforms, including multiple YouTube channels, Instagram, Facebook, Africa TV, and all that. So basically, that's their life cycle. That's how they go. And there are all these YouTube videos are available on the Free Meditation channel, which are a great resource, which we have used to pass on or mentor seekers over the time. And that way you don't have to sit with the seeker every day or take them through that journey. So that's that. And before I finish up, which won't be more than 2 minutes now, we'll just quickly run through the webcast calendar process. So there's a webcast calendar on the Free Meditation website, which is populated by the help of a number of people. So Auntie Lynn gets the programs of everyone, updates the sheet. I get some details from Kirti and Manika as well for the FP programs. Uncle Charles set up the YouTube programs and send those details to me. The calendar is updated, and after that, the advertising teams, which are doing a fantastic job, they advertise it on the meetups in Melbourne and QLD currently. So hopefully we can see in other states also this sort of advertising happening. That would be really good. So
Vaibhav, just before you switch over to the next slide,
yes.
We may have people on the meeting who are not familiar with the webcast calendar.
Oh, okay.
Are you able to take us to the freemeditation.com site?
Sure.
People can see it, yeah. While Vaibhav is doing this, the link to this site is freemeditation.com.au/webcasts. And we use that in everything that we do, all the advertising, all the streamings that we do. We put this at the bottom. And this is the landing page that people come to. And this is the page that gets updated progressively during the week. And it shows, I'll let you talk us through the webcast calendar structure, please, and the countdown clock, and why we have the countdown clock for our international visitors. Yeah.
Sure. So as Uncle said, this is something which is updated quite frequently, every day, every week. And this basically summarizes the title of a session, the description, and the link where you can watch the program, YouTube, Zoom, Facebook. And then there's a clock at the bottom, which really helps people in different time zones, internationally or within Australia, to assess when this event is going to happen. And yeah, basically once this has been, and there's obviously more promotions down there which happen.
So while you're on that page, if you just scroll down, so if you click on the watch on YouTube for Sunday today,
right,
at the number one, at the top, sorry,
on
the calendar, yeah.
On the calendar, right.
Yeah, so go to today's program, that one there. Yeah. If we click on that, I think the program might be still live. Let's have a look and see if it's still going.
I think it's finished. Yeah.
It's finished, has it? Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So, it's replaying now. Okay. So the beauty about YouTube, not only allows us to stream live content to it, but we've enabled it so that it retains the recording. And if people miss the session, they can come back and watch it. And this one was just streamed it just finished a few minutes ago. And you can see on the screen there, it had 24 views. Now, over the next few days, the next few weeks, that'll climb up to a couple of hundred. And we'll show you some of the YouTube screens so you can get an idea of the amount of traffic we're getting. Excuse me. One of the things we learned a long time ago, we used to do this radio programs in Sydney and in Queensland. And with the advent of the internet, we realized we had this valuable resource, and we had hundreds of audio recordings and we wondered what to do with them. And we created a site called Meditation Podcasts. And basically we posted all those on that site. And they've been there for 10, 20 years or so. And they have been recycled, and they recycle automatically every 2 weeks. They recycle. And those audios now are available as podcasts on iTunes and Google Play and on a lot of podcast platforms. So that model, once we realized that's what can happen with audios, we adopted the same model for the videos that are being created. So at the moment, we've got videos that have been recorded specifically for YouTube and Facebook. We haven't done much with the Zoom sessions. So there's a lot of Zoom sessions that are happening every week. And one of the things we need to focus on in this year is to be able to utilize those Zoom session recordings, repackage them, and then make them available for ongoing distribution, whether it's via YouTube or our blogs and so on. So we'll come back to a little bit to that as we're going along, but we're just trying to give you some context as we're going. So sorry to interrupt you, Vaibhav, but just if you want to keep going.
All good, Uncle. All good. Yeah, okay, sure. Good. No, thank you for that. That's good. So yeah, without taking too much of everyone's time, I'll just come back to the last slide. So there are some of the suggestions here from my side and from the team which I spoke to. There is Instagram, which is supposedly a much more modern social media platform. We really need some volunteers to effectively manage that. I think Uncle said that there is an account there, but it's not very active. And that can be a really good source for advertisement, considering a lot of people these days are actually on that platform more than Facebook. And another thing which we really need is a bit of funding there for promoting these online programs, the public programs I'm talking about. Both Facebook and Instagram have that facility to allow paid promotions. So maybe we can look into doing a central, instead of promoting each program individually for one state, have a central database for promoting that. Again, just suggestions. A website refresh might be nice, especially for the freemeditation.com.au website, and maybe some SEO SEO basically is to get more traffic on the website, and it comes up the Google results, that kind of a thing. So again, we need maybe some volunteers to help with that, and maybe some more funding. So yeah, that's maybe some questions you can go back and think about. Some of the future projects which we are planning from our end and is there's a chakra series for each chakra, Muladhara to Sahasrara, which is going on the Facebook Journey Within group. And there's also a session at 8:30 p.m. tonight. And then we're also planning to have a 7 minutes meditation series based on the fact and the results which Uncle Charles or Mangria will share shortly. I'm also a big fan of short promotions, like 1 or 2 minute promotions. That something like we did a short video called Story of Creation that helped really to get some more subscriptions to the channel on YouTube, and also to spread the message far across of what Sahaj Yoga is in short. So yeah, more to come in the future. Stay tuned. And thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you.
And being patient for the long talk. Shri Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you for all that you do up there in Queensland. I don't know when you guys sleep, because I get emails from you at 2 o'clock in the morning and then 7 o'clock in the morning. So thank you very much on behalf of all of us and the seekers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shri Mataji.
I always look forward to getting that email from you saying we have a new video available. I drop whatever I'm doing and start watching it.
That's very kind of you, Uncle. Thank you.
So while we're on Zoom, who else have we got? We've got Shan. Is he still with us? Shan, is there anything else you'd like to cover from looking after the Zoom sessions?
I just need some clarification, some help in terms of, I actually send it through on chat. On my Monday 7:30 sessions, I get a lot of newbies who come on and off, and often as a takeaway, they want some materials to read. And is there any way, first question is there any way that we can send materials while they are online, they can download? And number two, do we have a standard package of materials? Well, what I've done for now, Uncle, is that I've collected some materials that I think is appropriate and put them on my G drive. And I create a QR code, and then people can just scan it and goes to that. But is there a better way of doing it? That's my question, Uncle.
Yes, we've got something that we can build out on. Man, could you take us to freemeditation.com.au/resources?
Yeah.
So when all the videos that we package and restream, they all have a link at the end of it, which takes our audience to this particular page. The idea of it is we're storing all the information there, and if we need to add more, we can. And the idea is it's hidden. People generally don't get access to it. So when people come to freemeditation.com.au, they don't get to this page straight away. They actually have to go through the self-realization process, and then they get this link to this page. So just at the top there, Shan, for example,
yep.
We've got, these are hyperlinks to more pages. So there's a page with music, more about the subtle system, audio talks, and the meditation guide. So this is probably an area. Mag, would you mind clicking on meditation guides? This may be an area that we could add more information to.
Okay.
So there's this, for example, this guide here. It's a one-pager. There's a card there that people can download with Shri Mataji's photo. There's links to a whole lot of websites. Some of them we sponsor. Some of them that other yogis are maintaining. There's also a link here to the soul system, others' talks, and so forth. So you have this option if you wish. We could add a lot more on this page, because if your seekers are asking for that information, then certainly a whole lot of other people also would like to have that.
Okay. Oh, thanks, Uncle. Thanks.
There's heaps, and the music is really good. When we go through the stats, you'll see a lot of people come to the meditation music link and enjoy listening to the music. Yeah, so these are talks by Shri Mataji. Mang, just a little bit to the left there on that top menu bar, meditation music. Next to the right. That's it. That's it. Yeah. So these are expandable. These are albums that expand out to all sorts of music. So this is all Sahaj music in essence.
Okay. Is it possible, Uncle, to send something which is not on the list? Like, I'll give you an example, Uncle. The other day, we were talking about liver diet and all that, and someone forwarded an email to me of a PDF. Now, would I be able to share that PDF with everybody's online at that moment? Is that possible?
You mean
Yes.
technically?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll find out how to do it from one of you people.
Yeah.
So,
Via Zoom? Yeah.
Yes.
The easiest way to do it, if you want to do it while you're live. Sorry. I was just saying that the easiest way to do it, Shan, while you're online live on Zoom, is that if you have the document ready, the way you share your screen, similar way, when you click on share, there's a section which says files. Through there, you can share a file on any of your drives.
Oh, thanks for that. So they will physically receive the files. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, it needs to be loaded on one of your drives like Google Drive or wherever it is. And then you can just point it to there, and all the participants of that Zoom meditation session will receive it then.
Oh, thank you so much for that. Thanks. Thank you very much.
So, Sean, while you're on that, one of the things we haven't actually had a chance to do is actually build up a resources area for the presenters. So this is resources for new people. And we just wanted to propose, if you think it's a good idea, on yogis.com.au, we have a resources page that supports the presenters. It has PowerPoints, has links to videos, links to photos, or the liver diet, for example, or guides that are resources for you to use when you're presenting your programs. And I see, a lot of people have gone to a lot of work to create lovely charts, chakra charts, self-realization steps, and so forth. It'd be nice, I think, if we can bring them all together and put them in one area, and then people can just cherry pick what they want. You guys who've been doing this for the past 6 months, 12 months have got your own resources, but tonight we're talking about we will be inviting more people to participate in presenting, and they'll also be looking for resources to use themselves. So, and they might find that useful. So how does everybody feel about a resources page for presenters?
100%. Definitely need that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very good.
it'll be really
Sold.
Good idea.
Very good.
Okay, so what we'll do is we've got all the material there. It's just a matter of just collating it and putting it in a form in an area that you guys can access. And then look, if you want to give the link to your new people, by all means, but it's not meant to be for that. It's meant for you guys to go and cherry pick what you want. And if someone's done a really nice program on a particular chakra, well, that PowerPoint slide, we can then put in the resources pack. And then you guys can then use that whenever you want. Or you're coming up for a program, not sure what to present. You can look through the resources file for the presenters and say, oh, that's something that someone else has done. Maybe I could do that again. And I've got all the information, the PowerPoints are there ready to go. The person's already selected the video for that. And you're basically jump starting, and you're not spending a lot of time in doing research, which other yogis have already done. So it's maybe leveraging on the work that other yogis are doing. All right. So what we'll do is after this, over the next week or so, we'll send an email out and start collecting all that information and put it on the yogis site for you guys to have a look at.
Hey, Charles.
Brilliant. Thanks, Uncle. Thanks, Uncle.
Yes.
What's the feasibility of getting an app going, like a downloadable app, with which we put all these recordings on, and people could just do like guided meditations from the app? You know what I mean?
Well, okay. We don't have to do one. Apple have already done it for us. We'll show you that as we go through. Yeah, so for example, the podcast. So our medium at the moment is video. And so through podcasts, for example, we have a way where people can just stream as much content as they like, either through the video or the audios. We don't have an app where people can download content, for example, a PDF, and that's where that resources site, the freemeditation.com.au/resources, is where they go to download whatever they need. And on that page is where they take its links to podcasts that they want to see.
The podcast I get, like the audio. So how do you get a video version of a podcast? What does that look like?
Well, I'll take you through that when we do the next session. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Sean. Was there anything else?
Sorry, Uncle, to interrupt there.
Yes.
Just what Brett said before about the app. I think the app would be a really good idea in terms of usability for the seekers. Something that they can download, a Sahaj Yoga meditation app, and that will constantly give them the updates that, okay, well, this is the calendar for this week.
Yeah.
And here are these things. And if you want to learn meditation, click on these buttons, or if you want to beginners, intermediate, advanced. And
Okay.
The idea came from my work, where one of my staff was asking about meditation, and they were asking me if we had an app, and I pointed them to Ramesh's one. He's got a little one, and she, obviously she downloaded it, but it sort of felt like a nice way. It's quite a personal way. If you say download the app, they kind of own it on their phone. Like they've made that effort to have Sahaj Yoga on their phone, and that's where they go there for. They don't have to go to a website or a podcast. They just go, there's my app. Bang, I'll just hit a meditation tonight and off I go, I don't have to think about it, But I appreciate that's very easy to say, Charles.
It's been noted. So far, we've got on our to-do list, we're going to ask Lynn to talk a little bit more, to document or even just do a video of her public program set up with the Zoom sessions that are running in the background. And I've added now the app for new people.
Awesome.
Okay, it's on the list.
So, on different platforms, just to mention, there are a few apps, not Aussie apps, but there are a few Sahaj Yoga apps for beginners already available. And I know several parts of the world are building some apps. So unless we want to do something specific here, we could tag new seekers to existing apps as well.
Yeah, maybe you could put that on the resources page, Mike, or something.
So possibly what we should do is review the apps that are out there that have already been created and are being maintained, because it's like a website. If they're not being maintained, then people are turned off because it looks like it's just got old content. So let's we'll set up a team to review apps and submit them.
There's some apps being developed in Sydney as well.
Okay.
By a few yogis. I guess we'll have to look into them. They're not specifically like a recollection of previous episodes and previous work we have done. There's one app developed here. Is something in a short description. It's something like have a meditation by demand. So when you would like to have a Sahaj meditation, you can press a button and it will call another yogi. Like if you're a new person, you can call another yogi and it will join and help you do a little guided meditation. I'm not sure if that app is fully developed or it's just in some final stages. But they started already implemented in Italy, as I heard. But yeah, I can. It's Danilo been developing it, so I guess we can.
I've just got a message here on YouTube. Someone said that someone's saying Danilo and Adele have an app ready to go. They launched it a couple of weeks ago. Danilo's app is a guided meditation only, but it could be updated to include calendars, etc. There you go. That didn't take long, Brett.
Yeah. So I guess we can invite Danilo next time to this session, and he can do a little presentation of his app, what he's done and how it works.
Okay. So then there'll be Danilo's, and I'm sure there'll be other apps that are working and being maintained. So they're candidates for our resources page for the presenters.
Yeah.
So whenever you want to refer people to apps or anything like that, we'll just list them there.
If
All right.
we end up with another app, and it doesn't sound like we'll need another app, but if we did, just a very simple idea I thought would be you just basically click a link on the app and it just pops up YouTube in another window, and it starts playing a guided meditation basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's now it's just on 8 o'clock. We said we'll try and finish this at 8:30. Matt, can we just have a look at our slide, our agenda, just to see how we're going? We're sort of doing quite well. We're covering off a lot of points for a first meeting. The previous slide, please, Matt. Yeah. If you can go to slide, so that's it. Yeah. So I suppose in a way we're agreeing, everybody's agreeing that 2021 and beyond, we will continue and we will grow. We will continue doing what we're doing. We will continue to offer seekers globally our online public programs, and we will try to recruit more people to support it. We've been hearing people talking about their experiences and learnings. We haven't had a chance to hear from Mayank and Andre about the videos that you guys have been putting together for our YouTube channel. Maybe we can just get a few minutes from you guys just to share your experiences. I know it's been just like the work for Vibuff and the team in Queensland. It is a huge effort to prepare those packages. They run for 45 minutes to an hour, and they're absolutely beautiful, the work that you guys do.
Yeah. Andre, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure, I can go first. So we've done some work. It's purely been made for YouTube. Those are sessions been done for new people, and we've tried to cover a lot of topics. The sessions wasn't interactive, so it wasn't made for interaction with new people. We tried to do them online at the beginning and faced a lot of technical issues with bandwidth of internet, and internet connection wasn't great. So at the end, we tried to either stream pre-made files or just put actual file online. We try to look at samples and examples, what other people done on YouTube, and what kind of competition we have, if you say, what other people teach of meditation and yoga. And what we learn is visual appearance on YouTube is quite important. When people coming across your channel and your video, obviously they see it the first time. It might pop up in YouTube as a suggested video if you ever search for similar topics like yoga or meditation. And you literally have about 10 seconds of attention of new seeker to catch their attention and interest them enough for them to stay longer. I know it usually come other way. It's a seeker's desire to get realization and to find something. In this way, it's come like you have to sell it before to them, make them very interested before they actually stick with you. But that's just the reality how most of the social platforms works, and just a little game you have to play around. So we're trying to make every video with supporting material. We're trying to film a little video at the beginning and have a couple short movies in the middle to support your story. you're talking about food soak, for example, we done a session on food soaks, and we done sessions on ice pack. We're doing short movies. How do you apply food soak? How do you apply ice pack? How do you do food soak, etc., etc. And we're trying to make it more interesting. So when you talk, sitting in front of the camera is not that visual, is not very engaging. But when you film in the short movie, your camera in the hands, you can move around, you can put some sound effects, you can put some music in the background, you can make it really visual appealing, and it's been quite a good feedback and quite a good results from those videos.
They've been absolutely fantastic. Those little snippets you do at the beginning, as soon as you start playing them, it's like, wow, this is great. So we're going to show those shortly. So once you finish your little presentation, Andre and Mayank, we might start showing in the flesh some of the things Vaibhav has been showing and spoken a lot about the work that he's been doing. So soon, guys, we'll do some screen sharing and actually start showing you some of this content that's been generated over the past 12 months. And these little snippets that Andre does are they're just top pure Hollywood. Fantastic.
Thanks, Andol.
And you have and I say that the way you do it, we call yours the conversation series because you actually have talking heads. You generally have more than two people discussing and bouncing things and ideas, and it works so well. And you could see the amount of work that you guys have put into it. It's just amazing.
Yeah, that's part of it. Thanks, Uncle. Thanks very much for kind words. Yeah, that's another part of our videos is we're trying to not have a one presenter who tell you basically what to do or his experience. We're trying to have a very relaxed conversation between two people who's done it, who done Sahaja Yoga, who done meditation, and it's very simple. Every time we have people coming on a show, they're very nervous. They don't know what to do, and the first thing we start to tell people is just relax, and you just tell people, tell your Paul, what is your experience with Sahaja Yoga? What is your experience with a specific topic? Like, what about food soak? Like, why do you do food soak? And you forget about camera. You just sit and talk to each other. And everybody is always scared of time. They say, how long we have to talk to? We have to talk 40 minutes. It's like, oh, it's too much talking. And we never end up like an hour and a half or shorter. We had episodes which is way beyond 2 hours, and we have to stop people. It's like it's been too much.
Yeah, the worst thing you could do to you is say, I only make it 20 minutes.
Yeah, and people just forget about cameras. They're just talking to each other. Yeah. And this kind of, which is very common format for podcasts, it's a conversation between two people, and you end up, the audience end up being, spies on somebody else's conversation. It's so interesting to hear somebody else's experience rather than it's a lecture, rather than somebody telling you how to do and there's a bullet points. It's a experience from first hands, and this experience become way more interesting if you have a little snippets, a little bit something to support your story. So the whole episode become like a story. And you're watching it, you have 10, 20 seconds at the beginning, it's some movie, and that's what caught your attention. And then it's two people talking, and then we put extra movies, and we put some quotes from Shri Mataji's lectures to support the story, etc. And yes, we generally been quite lucky with those sessions. In the past, when we were doing them more often, we had from 60 to 100 people online watching them at the time when we was putting them online, and they gained quite a bit of
It was a
quite
very
bit of
enjoyable.
views on them.
Yeah, they're very enjoyable. So we'll see a few of those in a moment. Mayank, Paul's not able to join us, so thank you, Andre. Mayank, is Paul able to join us tonight?
Not really, but
okay. All right. You're his agent.
Yes,
Publicity
exactly.
department.
Yeah, I had 2 or 3 other points also. So in interest of time, I'll quickly summarize in 2 or 3 minutes. So in a sense, first of all, because we talked about the Zoom sessions, and Charles asked me to look at Zoom statistics, and I downloaded them this morning. So there's one interesting thing that I found that I wanted to share with everyone, which is when we started Zoom, we thought that it really doesn't matter whether Zoom is held from Sydney or Perth or Melbourne or wherever. Zoom is just Zoom and anyone can attend. It's more global, not even Australian from that perspective. But somehow the Zoom sessions for specific locations the number of attendees in those sessions is directly correlating with the populations of those places. I don't know how this is happening, and it's happening month after month. So if there is a Zoom session in Sydney, you'll see larger numbers as compared to, let's say, a Zoom session in Perth or a Zoom session in Canberra. What this essentially tells us is that just because there is a Zoom session, let's say on Friday, you don't, from some other location, you don't need to think that, oh, there's already a Zoom session on Friday, let me not do mine on Friday. If it's convenient for you, just do it, because what the people in your state are more probable to attend your session because it will name your city or state. The second thing that it tells me is that for larger places like Sydney, it may even make sense that we start naming some of these sessions by the areas that they're conducted from, so that more geographical interest will be generated. So I just wanted to share what I saw.
So, man, just on that, on the calendar, we do say where the program is being hosted from.
I know.
So that may be is that the trigger? Do you think if it's saying it's being hosted from Sydney, then people from Sydney find that attractive?
That's what it seems like.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Say that is having an effect.
Mm.
The topic that I wanted to touch, YouTube, I think Andre already covered very well, and we did some sessions here. In short, we did sessions, regular sessions, we did sessions for beginners, and then we did a series for advanced. And then after doing 3 series, we kind of didn't really see the point of keeping on making new ones, and we just reran them. So now we are in the process of figuring out what more new we can do. But the thing that I wanted to touch is follow-ups. Charles, do you want me to touch it now or later on?
Let's share. I think it's time. We've spoken a lot and we've shown PowerPoints. It's time to actually show some content. We have 12 people on YouTube. So I think we have a lot of new people, not new people, a lot of yogis probably have not seen the content. So let's, would you mind giving me hosting, and I'll take over that. And then, so what we'll do is we'll show some of the content on the different platforms. We might even, while I'm there, while I've got the screen, do some stats. And that'll be the as of today. And then will then dovetail into, well, how do we look after the people? Is that okay, Mark?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Then we can close out with nurturing the people. And then last thing before we finish tonight is, what as a group of people can we suggest we do for celebrating the 40 years of Sahaj Yoga in Australia? Okay.
Sure.
So if I can get the screen sharing, please. Have it. Let's have a look. Sorry, folks, nearly there. So, Mayank, is my screen coming through? I should have Google Analytics.
Yep.
Great.
Go on.
Okay. All right. So let's go to our YouTube channel. Is this showing up, the YouTube channel, okay?
Yeah, it is.
Good. Okay. So these are all the videos that the team have been compiling over the past 12 to 24 months. This is our YouTube channel. Let's see if I can show you a bit better screen here. So they've been catalogued, categorized. So we've got the journey within, for example, within Sahaja Yoga series. This is the ones that have been generated by the Queensland team. These ones here are all videos that have been compiled by Mayank and Paul from Melbourne and the other yogis down there. This is another series that the guys have been putting together. This is the series, the conversation series that Andre was talking about. You can see there are people talking there. We'll play some of these shortly. And then we have some general videos that have been compiled over the year that sort of sitting under documentaries. So for example, let's have a look at one here from Andre's team, the conversation series, which is the one, let's have a look. Let's see if I can find one on foot soaking. Right, let's play this one here.
Is it possible to play music as well? Oh yeah.
Okay, so I only switched to the audio. Could you hear the audio while that was playing?
That was very loud, Uncle.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's all right.
It woke everybody up. So here's another one here. I don't know how this one starts. Let's go back to the beginning.
This energy.
So here's
practice in Mother's
two people
Womb,
we're talking about the conversation series. We've got
this energy
two
comes
yogis
through
talking
the
and
top of
explaining about Sahaja
strength in
Yoga
our own
to each other.
personal experience
And this is what we
that
call the
you don't
conversation
react
series.
so much. Like when we are having
This
a
is
good
done,
meditation,
Andre, this is done in
you
the room out the back at
detach
Burwood.
from these
Yeah,
actions. You are
that's
in
right. Yeah.
control of yourself. You are actually very much alert, and
You
you
have
don't,
done most of the series we've done in meditation
and
room
that
in
actually
Burwood.
helps you a lot
Then we've
because
done quite a few in Balmoral,
for
and the
uh,
latest one will be at the back in Burwood
Okay,
Ashram.
good. And let's just have a look at some of the.
There's a foot. Can you find the foot soak one?
That's what I was trying to look for. I can't. I'm not sure. I'll have another look for it.
You can just try type in the search.
In my search, yeah. It's not here, but I'll find it. So this is one from the Queensland team on foot soaking. So they have a different approach. So it's good. What Vibath does is they actually spend a lot of time preparing people before they start the session. So they get their buckets ready and so forth. Most of these we promote beforehand, so people do have some time to get ready. Now, one of the things that YouTube has done recently, I'll just mute the sound a little bit, just bring down. They've introduced these indexing here. So we have a long program. I think one of the things that works, so as Andre was saying, people do prefer shorter videos. So a way around that is this is quite a long video. This goes for 40 minutes, but YouTube allows us to index the sections in the video. So, you know, I've just come along here. You know, I don't want to spend 40 minutes watching this video. I've just stumbled across it, but I'm interested in this topic. So how to use an ice pack. So this allows me to go straight.
So let's begin with the foot soak now.
To segment in the video, which is talking about foot soaking and ice pack.
As promised,
And you can see it's gone along here and added some meditation with music. So once the video has been created and uploaded to video and played, then we can go back and do this indexing, which helps the audience jump around a little bit. And hopefully they might want to watch the whole lot. But as a teaser, I think this is a great tool that
it basically works like a bookmarks.
Bookmarks, yeah. And this is something that we control. We control this channel, so we can go back in there and create these. It's not something that other people can do. So there are a number of people who have access to this channel. There's Vibath, Andre, Mayank, and I think Hoke they all have access to this channel. And they all have rights to upload videos, edits, and so forth. So if there's any changes or things like that you'd like to see on the channel, you can just let us know. We also do tagging. So when we create in the descriptions, this is the description area here, we provide more links to a whole lot of other things where, again, we're attracting a global audience. So we have on the freemeditation.com site a list of all the international Sahaja Yoga websites. We don't attempt to talk to them in their language. We just show them a flag and in some cases their local language. And then they can just click through and we hand them over to the Chinese, for example, website. And then they can then follow through and do their follow up with Sahaja Yoga in their local country. So even though we are sahajayoga.com.au, over the last several years, we have focused also on our international audience. And we're not just being just looking at Australia. We have people coming from all around the world visiting our website. Just conscious of time. So let me just see what else there is I can show you. So let's have a look at some stats very quickly. So we've had this channel 10 years or so. This is just showing some stats for the last year, the last 365 days. And recently, YouTube's now also showing what YouTube videos are appearing in or ranking quite high on a particular period. So if I go to here, for example, there's a video here. We had a spike in this period here, and that correlated with the work that we were doing with the Chinese yogis that Viber was talking about. There's the Gruha Lakshmi video that we worked with the Chinese and Sanjay Talwar to host and advertise. So we hosted that video on our channel, and you could see there was a huge spike. These ones here I don't know, because it's not possible to see within the Google YouTube analytics to see which particular videos they are, but you could see in the previous 12 months they are starting to give us a lot more information for us to look at. On our YouTube channel, the video that has the most views is this particular one. We shared that with the Webcast team. This particular video was put up about 10 years ago, and it's had nearly 700 views. And it's a lovely 8-minute video that Helen Splan put together. And it's got some photos of Mother with some lovely, some mantras playing in the background. So there's a lot of stats. This is a full-time job, just looking at the stats and trying to interpret them. So let's have a look at some interesting deep dive, some stats here. This is showing us the audience that are coming to our YouTube channel, the time of day. So the darker the color, the more people, and there's we can actually get the actual values here. But it's interesting to see that between 6 a.m. and early afternoon, the slide shade shows that we don't have that much traffic. But late at night on Thursday, for example, 11 a.m., 11 p.m., or early in the morning during the week, we have the most traffic. Why this is of interest is because those videos that we have now in our library, we replay them, and we have to decide when are we going to play them, what day of the week we're going to play them, and what time are we going to choose. So it's totally at our choice when we want to play them. So this helps us to choose the areas that the timing of playing the videos. So the question is, well, what about the poor, the yogi or the seeker who's around at that time of the night? Do we play videos for them too? I'd say yes. So it doesn't mean that we will just focus on these heavily dark areas as the areas or times that we will play the videos. But it's just an interesting metric there. Our audiences, you can see India features quite highly, then Australia and the United States, or the whole Americas. So we're now starting to play some videos late at night around 10 a.m. To attract the United States time zones. This here information is basically when you create your Google account and Google wants to know who you are or what your age group, they basically use that in this demographics chart here. So what this is telling us that our audience are in this age group here are the predominant ones, the 25 to 54-year-olds, and predominantly female. That's arbitrary, because I know when I filled in my Gmail account, I said I'm 20 and I'm female, so I skew those demographics, and possibly I think a lot of people may do that. I think as time goes on, people have become more guarded about their personal information. Time of day we've done, so that's pretty good. So this is our YouTube channel, And now let's look at our website stats. Again, there are people who are specialized in this area. So we advertise on Google. We were very fortunate that we got a grant 10, 15 years ago, based from YouTube, because we're not for profit. And we get the value of $10,000 a month to do advertising. And so a lot of our traffic comes from our advertising. That's paid advertising. It doesn't actually, we don't pay anything. It's just that cost is covered by YouTube. And there's about 10,000 organizations globally who fit into that category of being a not-for-profit, who benefit from what they call the Google grant. So this is showing us, for example, let's have a look, which pages on our website are attracting the most visitors. So let's just expand that, make that for the last 90 days. This is our landing page. So we're getting that. Just ignore the page value because we don't put any value. We're not paying any money. So that's a redundant column there. But it's interesting to see that worldwide, that list that we showed you of all the list of the international websites, that's the most visited page. And it's a quick handover. People land on that page. It may be not what they want. It may be what they're looking for. If they take the time, if they're from Japan, they may scroll down and find the Japanese website. And we've done our, as far as we're concerned, we've done our job. We've handed them over to the Japanese collective. And then through their website, the Japanese seeker may explore Sahaja Yoga further. The webcast page, that calendar that Viber took us through, that's the third highest page that is visited most by our seekers. Then the music page that we showed you earlier. This is the Guruha Lakshmi video. We had a lot of hits of that, and it still goes on. So once we've created the video, those videos are continuously being viewed by visitors to our website. Who are the visitors? It could be anybody. It could be established yogis, people who've just come to Sahaj, or people who've just stumbled across us through through YouTube's recommendation or Google's recommendation when people are visiting and visiting websites. Our classes, these are the classes within Australia, and then the resources. Sean has had to leave the meeting. I think he sent through a message. This is another area of people go to. Again, this is something that it's advertised on our channels. They're not necessarily people who find it, who stumble across it. And interestingly, we have on our website, people who can do the audio. They're following an audio meditation or video, and you can see that the audio meditations seem to be very popular. Western Australia, I don't know if we've got anybody still online from Western Australia, but there's something in the water over there because you guys are generating a lot of traffic onto the website, and a lot of subscribers to our newsletter come from WA. So that's great. So whatever you're doing, keep it up. Seems to be attracting a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm not really sure because we don't have that many, I guess. But it's really nice to see all this you are showing at the moment, because it's opening my eyes actually what else we could do. Yeah.
So what we do, what we haven't had a chance to do is when people subscribe, we've been wanting to pass that subscription to the state. So we set it up it's automated at the moment for Queensland, and we want to do that for every state, so that as people subscribe, the people in each state see that people are subscribing and they're coming from that location. How we advertise. This is our news section on our website. When we have a new event, for example, last week we sent out an email to our 10,000 people on our database, and we advertised a selection of topics that were going to be played or presented from the calendar. We don't show the whole calendar here, but we give them the link. So this is very similar to the email that's sent out, but this is our blog page on our website, and it basically mimics what's in the email. and also has a link to what we call a video of the week. And we try to keep it, it could be a video, we try and keep it to quite a short video. And it could be something that we've developed just recently, or we may recycle an older video. And once we publish an item here, it then automatically appears in our Twitter feed. So this is our feed. That video that we played tonight, we pushed it out to our Twitter account. So that's the one that was playing while we're having our meeting. We have our podcast site feeding this channel here. These are other videos. This is the one we did some advertising for WA, so it appeared here. So anything that appears in our news page appears in the our Twitter feed and also on our Facebook page. So there's a lot of tools that allows us to automate a lot of this work. So you can see here, this is our Facebook feed here. And you can see the same sort of content. So this is being fed by a lot of websites or blogs that are recycling content. Holke was very instrumental in creating a lot of these sites many years ago. And we're using those to republish the content into our feed here. And I think, what else have we got? So one of the other things Brett asked about reviewing some of the content that we've had, or apps. So I'll just finish off just maybe 2 more minutes just showing what we do. So these are the videos that I showed you that are on YouTube, but they've been repackaged onto this, what we call this blog here, we're calling it videos for meditation. And these ones, so this is a web page set up as a blog, and people can just click on here and then they can watch the video here from scratch. And I think we have the foot soaking one on this page on here somewhere. Let's have a look. And because this is a blog, it feeds the podcasts. Here we go. Is this the one, Andre?
That's the one, yes.
Yeah, so we'll just play this one. This has a lovely intro.
That's okay, we don't have to, I mean.
That's good, so much work. You guys have put in so much work into this. The whole night. We should have a festival.
I'm not sure that's actually ours.
It is. I put this as a intro.
You
Yeah,
changed it. Intro,
yeah. I haven't changed yours. I just gave it a bit of an intro.
That's fine. That's all good.
And it goes straight into yours. Here we go.
that looked pretty cool, Rajat. That you were looking quite relaxed in the foot soak, but you were looking pretty stressed prior to that.
Yeah, that's right.
Where did you get that bucket? I mean, that looked like a military grade vessel.
It's got a handle, and it's actually perfect for foot soaking.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So, so this video, a whole lot of videos are now on this website, and then they feed the podcast on, for example, on iTunes. So if you have a podcast app on your phone or Apple TV, etc., then all those videos are available there. I did a very quick 1-minute video, which I'll play for you, just so you can see it in reality how it works. Let's see if I can do this. So what we're seeing here is an Apple TV connected to a TV. And this is the meditation podcast that we had, the audio ones. And now this is appearing in this podcast on iTunes. This is one of the Queensland videos. It's been selected.
So welcome to today's webcast.
Another video
we'll be
from
talking
the New South
about
Wales team.
Meditation and how it can.
So these videos, or our video podcasts, are available to the world. Anybody who searches for meditation or Sahaja Yoga will see our podcasts coming up. And that could be video or audios. And these are a selection of Shri Mataji's talks. That was it. Very quick. So I'll hand over back to Mang to talk a little bit about nurturing people. Before I hand over, is there any particular questions or anything that we should follow up on for everybody on what we showed you so far? All good? Okay. Well, there's a lot. But where we could, if we get some feedback of particular areas that you're interested in, then we could devote a special webcast session for that particular topic. Okay. So I'll hand over back to Mayank now, please. It's now 9:45. You okay? Everybody okay to continue?
I might have to leave, so.
Sure, sure. Thank you, mate.
All right, see you then.
Thank you.
There are lots of things. So do you want to continue now, or do you want to break into another session? Maybe we could do a shorter 1-hour session next weekend.
Yes, we've covered a lot. It's up to everybody who's on the meeting. I'm happy to keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, I would suggest we have another one actually. But fantastic work, guys. I mean, I think the team has done amazingly well.
All right, so we'll leave it there. And should we schedule another session for same time next week?
Yeah.
7 p.m. Okay, so next week we'll see if there's any other feedback that people want any particular areas that people want us to cover. We'll do a bit of a recap next week on some of the things that we said we'll do. And then we'll continue on with really the essence of it is how do we nurture the people. So Vibo's spoken about it. Lynn Vasudeva talking a little bit about what they're doing in Queens or in Canberra. And also we do know that a lot of yogis around the world have been doing a lot of work in this area. Okay, so next week we'll focus on nurturing and the 40th year of Sahaja Yoga in Australia. Is that all cool? Is that cool with everyone?
Very good.
Yeah. Yes,
all right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, folks, for joining in. I hope it was of interest for those of you who have joined us on YouTube also. And we do know there's a lot of people who've joined who probably have not been exposed to this area before. Just in closing, if you are interested in participating as a researcher or presenter or providing technical support, drop us a line at info@sahajayoga.com.au, and we'll talk a little bit more about how you can get more involved. So thank you, Mother. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to meet with our brothers and sisters around Australia. And it's such a joy to be able to do your work, Mother. Thank you very much. It's tremendous blessings for us. Anything else, Brett, anything else you'd like to add in closing? Or Colin or Andre as counsellors?
I think it was great. Sorry, go ahead. No, I just want to say thanks, Uncle, for organizing it. It was a great session. It was very good. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Auntie Peru. We can see you there.
Excellent presentation, and I think that the stats are one of the big things that needs to be promoted. I think it's good for everybody involved in all the online presentations to be aware of it, but it would also be good for it to be disseminated a little bit further into the collective as well, so the collective gets a better sense of how effective these online programs are, because there's pockets in some of the collectives that aren't necessarily as tuned into it, and it would be good for more in the collective to be supportive and interested.
Okay.
Job well done.
Good. Thank you. Thanks, Colin. Thanks for the feedback.
Thanks, Charles. That was awesome, and well done, everyone, on your amazing work. It's quite it's a massive undertaking, and there's so many moving parts. It's
she does it all. The corporation, you'd have a whole team of people. You probably got 20, 30 people just managing all this, are all arguing.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Well done, everyone.
Like I said, this is the first meeting we've ever had, so it's obviously that the Mother has a huge guiding hand in all this.
Absolutely.
All we do is just click and point and click.
Yeah. Well done, everyone.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Good night,
Shri Mataji. Bye-bye. Thank you, Matt.